Good evening, race fans. Welcome back to another ERSCA race. I am David Westergreen, and it's good to be back and fully in the booth tonight for the EisenDesigns Southern California 200. We'll be joined by Dom Santina in a second, and as always, Carlos Acosta in the production booth. We are at Auto Club Speedway tonight for a 100 laps around this big 2-mile track. Lots and lots of racing grooves. Just put on a fantastic show a couple of weeks ago in the real world with the NASCAR Cup cars, and we're showing off a completely different car style tonight. These cars are much heavier. They're going to have a whole lot more horsepower. We're going to be seeing guys getting loose coming off the corners. We're going to be seeing guys on the bottom, on the top, getting tight in the center of the corners. There's going to be a lot of good action tonight, I think. Auto Club put on one of our best races last season, if you recall. Ryan Lutz ran down Chris Wright and Nick Massey on the last lap, made 2 passes, I believe, to get to the finish line first en route to winning a championship. You're looking at Cameron Rich, who finished runner-up in last year's championship. And, oh man, can't even tell who that is. Might be Josh Adams. Yeah, Josh Adams in the 95 car. He changes his paint scheme. So back to Rich. He won last week at Sonoma with a dominant performance, where his closest competition was one that he booted out of the way in Andy Trupiano. Carlos getting mad at me because I'm talking about his pick like that. We know Carlos will be picking Cameron Rich later on when we do our picks. Josh Robin in the 8 car also out for qualifying. I think everybody's going to run the top first lap, bottom second lap, and try to maximize that drive down into the corner and exiting with as fresh tires as they can get. Richard Hines here, I believe, and there's last year's champion Ryan Lutz as well. James Heater spun off a turn 4 on my screen before making his first lap, so definitely some early struggles out there. I envision that'll be the case all the way through tonight's race. We're going to be seeing guys stepping it out, exiting these corners, and getting tight in the center and drifting up and into the wall. But down the straightaways and through over the bumps, the car gets very, very jittery, especially on the back straightaway. You might see some guys losing on the straightaway just because of that fact. Here's Johnny Thomas, league owner, looking to run well as Nick Massey in the 48 car. Massey's been quiet this year. And I'll bring Dom in here. And Dom, California, here in the EisenDesigns Southern California 200. What do you think we're going to get to witness tonight? Do you think it can stack up to the last time we came to California with that caution-free race and the last lap pass for the win?
Sorry, David. I don't know if you mentioned something there to me or not, but had a little hearing issue. But glad to be with you here for this one. So,
no, I said do you think it's going to stack up to the last Auto Club race we had here with the last lap pass, 100 green flag laps?
I don't know. It's been very interesting here. We've definitely had some close racing, and I think this COT car definitely changes everything. So, I hope so. I hope that's the goal. It makes it exciting from our point, but I feel like it's going to be interesting to see how it goes. I honestly don't have any expectations for how this one's going to go.
Speaking of no expectations, current pole sitter is Aaron Smith in the 70 car in his first start of the season. So, at least from that I've seen, Aaron Smith, completely new name on my end. So, he's come in and set up a good lap. Kwame Scott, the Atlanta winner, currently second on the board, and Kwame was strong at Atlanta with it, which is another one of these tracks that tire wear is going to be a huge factor. A lot of slipping and sliding and a lot of multi-groove racing. So I think Kwame might be one of the favorites tonight. Maybe we can go ahead and get picks started. Dom, who you got?
You know, why don't I take him? I'll take him right off the bat. I'll take Kwame Scott for the win again tonight. Get first repeat winner of the season.
And you went in there and you took the momentum I was speaking with on Kwame Scott. I got a request to take Damian Leininger, and I'll go ahead and take him tonight. I think the 12 car is going to go up to the top of the racetrack, try to utilize that high line, maybe hoping that it'll happen before everybody else, and maybe we won't get that 12 car curse tonight. And then I can't imagine who
All
Carlos
right,
is going to
let me
take.
see. I have a feeling. I'm shaking my magic 8 ball, and it's telling me to go with Cameron Rich. All right.
I think that Magic 8 Ball only has one option in it, Carlos. You might want to get it checked out.
I don't know. It paid off for him last week.
we gotta mess with him every time. Let's take a look at the starting lineup here. Aaron Smith and Kwame Scott are your front row. Hank Steinmiller qualifying third, his best qualifying run of the season. Look for the 63 to maybe run up front. James Heater, James Holzer, pair of Jameses there, fourth and fifth. Ryan Lutz in sixth, last year's champion. Chad Bear and Ethan Burrell, seventh and eighth. Jared Rexing, Nick Massey, 9th and 10th. Matthew Bayuk and Andy Trupiano, who was maybe one of the favorites last week before contact sent him back into third at the end.
Looking through the rest of the field here, Nick and Delicato start 14th. Tate Lytle will start, or 13th. Tate Lytle will start 14th. Cameron Rich will start 16th. Looking through, Matthew Weeks will be 20th. Johnny Thomas 21st.
My pick's 23rd there, Damian Leininger. And just a quick note on Nick and Delicato, he is the points leader heading into this race. Next week we'll have graphics displaying the points, but for now, just trust me, Nick and Delicato's points leader. Back here we've got Gerald Campbell starting 28th. He was fastest in practice, so a bit curious on a bad qualifying lap from the 31 car. Continuing back, Joe Francis also fast in practice way back there in qualifying. Vincent Isabella and Drew Eisenman is the kind of the sponsor of the race, the EisenDesigns Southern California 200. So a note of him, he's there in 36th. Jared Mogart, the Daytona winner, 39th. As you take a look at the end of the starting grid, and we are going to get ready to go at Auto Club.
Yeah, one car there I noted on the starting lineup. I think he's starting about 32nd, 33rd in there. Is Josh Adams. He's just had a rough start to this season.
Yeah, his luck has been atrocious on top of just not having nearly the same level of speed, and I think it's due to him not being nearly as comfortable with the COT car, and you can just see it's changed things up for sure.
It's definitely brought a fun mix into things. We've seen different drivers in here, different drivers having success. One of those guys, as David mentioned to start the broadcast, Andy Trupiano, really been a newcomer to the series this year, but been a front runner and contender in most of our races. We get ready to go green. Pace car going to pull down. Aaron Smith, Kwame Scott going to lead us to the green flag here to start this one.
And it's out. Aaron Smith with a huge jump on the field early, and the drivers need to keep it easy. They're going onto the throttle. We've seen guys wreck before the start line already this season. Scott easily into second there. Holzer into fourth. Holzer might also be good here. The Rockingham winner.
Everybody making it clean there through the first two corners.
I think once the tires get old, that's when you're going to start to see guys hit those bumps on the back straightaway and just not enjoy it with these cars. For now, Kwame Scott is running down Aaron Smith. Everybody kind of double file there for about 7th, 8th position. Ethan Burrell, Nick Massey, but here comes Scott for the lead.
Kwame Scott riding that Atlanta momentum, had a good run last week just outside the top 10, and here he comes for the race lead here on lap number 2.
Yeah, momentum is an interesting little topic. You can definitely feel it in racing. You can feel the car surge forward, but you can also have that week-to-week momentum like Kwame Scott is having that you said. He was not one of the more prominent contenders in the Xfinity car last season, and here he is leading another race and being a upfront dominant driver in this COT car. And that's really, really impressive. I believe he's second in points right now, or maybe fourth in points. But he's up there in the points. He's got a realistic shot at the championship. Now you just got to keep having these good runs, keep running up front and taking care of your stuff.
Yeah, you know, and you think about it, I know we're still very early into the ERSCA season, but you think about all the names from last year that were points contenders. I mean, Josh Adams, Ethan Burrell, Nick Massey, like we're still kind of waiting for those guys to come to the front. And I think with the new car, it's changed everything up. And we talk about it, Kwame Scott, Andy Trupiano, Nick Indelicato, your current points leader, like different guys that are now kind of the front runners for the series with this new car.
To be a little bit fair, Ethan Burrell did finish second at Rockingham. He was just, I haven't seen Ethan Burrell as out to lunch as he was last week at Sonoma in a long time. And I run with Ethan Burrell, you know, 2-3 times a week. He's a very, very good driver at all types of tracks, and he just did not have a handle on this car at Sonoma. And the fact that, you know, a guy as talented as Ethan Burrell can struggle just goes to show you how difficult and how much, you know, this change is affecting this group of drivers. Hank Steinmiller did take second from Aaron Smith, and Ryan Lutz is going around James Holzer for fourth. So last year's champion Ryan Lutz, who has yet to win a race so far this year, who does not like this change in this race car, he is having a good run early in that 36 Dodge. Looks like we had our first small incident of the day. Michael Goodman bounced it off the fence. Goody is not enjoying this car either. He's another one who's just struggling with it right now, and you know, it's really definitely one that you're going to have to practice. You're going to have to really put in the time to be good at this race car.
One guy that's kind of made his name known for our road course racing, but having a strong run to start the race here, looking for the fifth spot on James Holzer right now is Chad Bear in that 91 machine. He's looking to crack the top 5, couldn't make it work. He'll pull back in line.
We got to give a little screen time to the Chad Bear paint scheme, though. It's a Dodge, but in the paint of the Robbie Gordon Singular Wireless car from 2001, and it's a work of art, man. I love that car.
He's about to get passed here, though, by Ethan Burrell, pulling to the inside.
Yep. Right behind them, the Mohawk Foundation Dodges of Bayuk and Indelicato side by side. So battles all over the racetrack here, and a bunch of guys trying to move to the front around some of the guys who maybe qualified a little better. Tate Lytle's back here. Cameron Rich is back here, trying to work their way forward. Andy Trupiano is another one. Burrell slices in front of Chad Bear. Really, really close, and right in front of them, Lutz going around Holzer and Aaron Smith. Ryan Lutz into third.
Got a good battle back here, too. You talked about Indelicato and Bayuk, but now Trupiano stuck his nose in the mix, and they got Harry for just a second. Rexing in there as well.
Aaron Turner in there. Rexing's been a little bit jittery so far. I saw him hit the apron a little bit earlier. He's trying the very, very top lane, and I'm wondering if anybody's going to be able to make that thing work. If you can, it's probably the fastest way around this track on the older tires, but you're going to really have to make get that car to stick without bouncing it off of the wall. Otherwise, it's just going to drift into the fence because you're a little bit tight in the center of the corner. That middle lane may be the preferred lane, especially early in the run.
Kwame Scott still continues to lead out front, though, just holding about 0.3 of a second. 2.5, 0.3 of a second over Hank Steinmiller and Ryan Lutz, who's now slotted himself into third.
Jared Rexon's underneath Bayuk there for about 10th, and Massey trying to sneak up towards the front of the field. He's alongside James Heater, and the battle for the lead heating up. Steinmiller trying to run down Kwame Scott. I know Hank's probably trying to take care of his stuff a little bit here, keep those tires on it, but we haven't seen speed like this from Hank Steinmiller in this car. He might finally be getting comfortable.
Yeah, he is all over the back of Kwame Scott right here. He's cut that lead down to 1/10 of a second. We have that multi-cam view brought to us by Carlos and 3Wide TV.
I've run a lot of races with Hank. I've been his teammate a couple of times, and Hank is very, very, very good at keeping the tires on the car. But we haven't seen this kind of speed out of him in ERSCA at any point. And here he goes down underneath Kwame Scott, trying to take the lead on lap number 10. That outside line might have the momentum here, but Hank trying to roll it on the inside. Ryan Lutz looking on in third.
Yeah, well, these two start to battle. That's going to pull Ryan Lutz into the mix.
Seth Rawls might have gotten on the apron and gotten sideways. He falls back. I think Damian Leininger might have gotten in the wall. I saw a little damage on the 12 car as well. So I guess that the 12 car curse definitely not lifted. Thus far, they're back in 38th and 39th, him and Seth Rawls respectively. Hank Steinmiller still going after Kwame Scott. Might happen here. He might be able to dive it off into the corner, but I think Hank's just a little tentative on trying to dive into the corner. Quick replay up top there. Ooh, Seth Rawls got the tap from Josh Adams. I think he's going to save this car as well, so no caution, even though Rawls was through the grass. There's three wide on the back straightaway right now, too, and a battle for the lead. Lot going on.
Lott's going to try to look to the middle here in between Scott and Steinmiller. Couldn't make it work. He looked to make it 3 wide, though, just not enough gap in between the two of them. He might do it here, though, down the front stretch.
Ryan Lutz is, of course, the guy aggressive enough to make that move. Give the lead to Hank Steinmiller at the line, I think. It was really close between them. I think .004 to Kwame Scott, and they're 3 wide for the lead.
I think there might have been just slight little contact there between Steinmiller and Lutz. Nothing too significant, but 3 wide. Lutz gets a little loose.
Holzer in the battle too.
There he goes. He finally was able to clear Steinmiller, and Steinmiller is going to lose the most out of this battle as Lutz is going to wash up the track. Here comes Scott back to the inside.
No, Lutz drove it in way too deep right there. You saw the price he paid for being a little aggressive. Oh, when he gets into James Holzer, everybody saves it.
Oh, Lutz in the wall.
Ryan Lutz.
He's going to come down. He hit Burrell.
Lutz out of control.
Oh,
man,
there's
a big wreck. Well, James Heater involved. Might have gotten Rexing as well. I don't have the driver's chat on, but I surmise there will be some upset drivers after that one. We'll have to take a look back. I know it's difficult to hang on to that car when it's getting sideways on you, but Lutz probably could have backed off a little bit earlier there. We'll have to go back and take a replay of that one. Just lost it on the apron, came up right into Heater. Looks like Trupiano might have gotten a little bit of damage. Rexing got damage. Oh no! Oh, was that Vincent Isabella? Oh man. A little late there for Vincent Isabella. Did not get on the brakes early enough.
You mentioned it in the first couple laps, David, that Lutz has just not been happy with this car and never really got a handle back to it once he got overdrove that corner. Unfortunately, a lot of cars cut up in that situation.
Oof. Just really rough there for some of these guys in the back that were victims of this incident. Dylan Thomas able to get through it down here on the apron. Yes, through the grass though. Johnny Thomas through the grass as well. Looks like maybe a 5-car incident total. Lutz, Rexing, Heater, Vincent, maybe Ethan Burrell.
You know, it's just kind of interesting, and maybe this goes back to your point, David, with how you said
right there, Mark Whitley.
How he hasn't been comfortable with the car, but last year it was always like Ryan Lutz was the calculated one, always very strategic, not too aggressive, and that time the aggression might have bit him.
I think you're absolutely right. I think he got a little fed up after he missed that corner, made one mental mistake, and it just kind of cascaded into several. Because really, once he tries to unstick himself from the wall right here, then he gets on the apron, but you can see he's just out of control at that point. No, I don't think there's really anything Ryan Lutz can do differently there, other than just bury that car in the wall and go all the way back to 40th.
Well, you said it. Tire wear is going to be important. Everybody coming down pit road here for tires.
First one off will be either Scott or Steinmiller. It's a race. I think it's Kwame Scott by a nose. James Holzer out third. Carlos, I'm going to go ahead and tell him, I swear you said Dale Jr. stayed out, but that's not what you said. Somebody stayed out.
Yeah, Drew Eisenman and Robert Hill Jr. Yeah, both staying out. Not Dale Jr. Man, we'd be thrilled if it was him.
Hey,
but
one day,
man.
one day.
Fortunately not.
He might. You never know. Dale Jr.'s on iRacing. He races with a lot of these guys before, but no. I heard Dale Jr., so I was very confused. Robert Hill and Drew Eisenman stay out. Eisenman, I think, going maybe for a lap lead on the race that's named for his designs company, EisenDesigns, and he does have a little damage actually on the rear of that 66 car. But I imagine he and Robert Hill will be heading to pit road here and ceding the lead to Kwame Scott, Hank Steinmiller, and James Holzer.
Looks like Vincent Isabella's going to come down again as well, maybe to fix some of that damage once again.
Yep. Isabella Heater just kind of sitting on pit road. They are a lap down. Rexing on pit road, a lap down as well.
Actually, Josh
Everyone
Adams
else-
just came down again.
I think he might have gotten some damage in that wreck. Oh, no, he got into Seth Rawls also. So 16 laps complete here. Or sorry, working lap 16, 15 complete. Kwame Scott over Hank Steinmiller and Ryan Lutz. Lutz, the defending champ, has wrecked out along with James Heater, Jared Rexing, Vincent Isabella. I think that's actually it for guys with who wrecked out. There's several others with damage, bigger names: Andy Trupiano, Damian Leininger, Michael Goodman, Josh Adams, Ethan Burrell, and others. Burrell now back to 32nd after fixing that damage. All this has moved Tate Lytle up into the 5th position, by the way. We'll see if he's got any speed to get up here and challenge for the win. Tate's been a little bit quiet since Daytona, even though he's up in the top group in points. I think I was expecting Tate to have won a race by now. He's usually up there, first, second, third. Coming to green, Kwame Scott. Gonna watch that pace car drop down and go. I think he brought him down really slow that time, actually. Stack up. Someone did come out the road behind. Might have been Eisenman.
Rewind for second here.
Yep. Big move by Aaron Smith in the 70 car. In his first race here, Hank Steinmiller a little bit loose exiting. Bear might have hit the wall. Woo!
So did
They're wrecking
Holzer.
in the back.
Holzer just rubbed into the wall. It's Zishan Dura that spun out.
Yep, no caution for Zishan Dura. Staying green. Field still stacked up, 2 and 3 wide. Smith and Holzer side by side. It's let Hank Steinmiller get away. Chad Bear has cleared Tate Lytle into 5th. Massey and Bayuk there right behind Lytle. Then Whitley and Indelicato for the top 10. Ton of side-by-side battles. This car has been kind of limited, at least in some of these guys' words, that they just really didn't feel like they could pass. I think in a racetrack like this with 2 distinct grooves, you're going to kind of see the opposite, where these guys are going to be able to work battles and try to go side by side and make passes on each other.
Delicato trying to pass on the low side here, working to the inside of Mark Whitley.
Delicato right there trying to get in behind his teammate Matthew Bayuk.
Cameron Rich right behind him on that inside line as well, trying to work his way through the front.
Cameron Rich kind of reminds me of Kevin Harvick. It's about midway through the race, you're like, oh, Cameron Rich just entered the top 10. Then about 50 to go, we'll be like, oh, Cameron Rich is in the top 5. And then he'll be in the lead by the end of the race. He's always, and then it's, oh yeah, Carlos is right. 3 wide, I think. 2 of the Mohawk cars and Mark Whitley.
Whitley will be able to
sorted it
pull
out.
away. Yep, and Delicato to the inside of Bayuk.
Bear trying to go after Holzer. That's for 3rd. Bear definitely a part-time guy in this series, as well as Aaron Smith in the 70. So a couple of part-time guys up here with our points contenders, like Nick Massey, running 6th. We've been waiting for Nick Massey to have kind of that breakout good run in this COT car. He's definitely one that has not had nearly as good of a season as he did last season to this point. And here he comes.
He's
There's
been
3 wide. Sorry, Dom. There's 3 wide for 10th there. Jared Darling, Cameron Rich. Whew. Go ahead.
He's had a couple. I think he's finished in the top 10 once or twice, but really, like you said, David, we're really looking for that solid run for the 48 car.
Challenge for the lead up front. Hank Steinmiller's going after Kwame Scott again. So many battles on this racetrack. It is hard to keep track of all of them. We're doing our best here. There's a battle for first. There's a battle for third. Battle for eighth. Hank Steinmiller threw the lead on Kwame Scott, this time without his teammate in other series. I don't believe they're
Oh, Chad Bear holds her around.
Oh, there they go.
Holzer into the inside wall. Bear to the inside wall.
That's a caution. Yep. Caution's been thrown. Bear and Holzer, the bigger wreck there. Looking for any further incidents. I don't see them.
No, they kind of got hooked together and just took each other down into the inside wall.
Wow. Just after the pass for the lead for Hank Steinmiller. Whoa. Man. That didn't look like it was much at all. James Holzer, the Rockingham winner. Chad Bear, last year's Daytona Road Course winner. Straight to the inside wall, and it takes third and fourth right out of the race. We might need an onboard to see what Holzer saw there. That is honestly really surprising that the cars reacted like that. And yeah, Holzer, pulls it onto the track while trying to slow up and gets the caution waived. Looks like maybe Bear got a little bit loose and cracked the throttle just slightly. And it was enough to get the 17 to suck into the rear bumper of him and turn him to the inside wall. Bear, you see, wiggles just a bit. It just goes around him. Very curious second accident in this race. Taking out 2 of our better contenders and one of our higher points runners right now. Check real quick. Holzer is 8th in points after that Rockingham win. So this will not help him overall. A bunch of guys from the back coming in, including Johnny Thomas, Josh Robin, Joe Francis. I think that's Josh Adams, maybe. Andy Trupiano coming in.
All of a sudden, these guys that started towards the back half of the top 10 are outside the top 10, finding quick spots towards the front. Nick Massey will find himself here in the 4th position. I can see Bayuk and Delicado closing in, Cameron Rich. They're all getting real close to the front now with a few cars being taken out in front of them.
Yeah, we saw that big battle for 10th. Those guys were 3 wide. Those guys are now 5th, 6th, and 11th. Bayuk fell back a little bit further, but Whitley and Indelicado, 5th and 6th right now. They have been steadily moving towards the front. Gerald Campbell started way back in this race, too. He started 28th. He's up to 10th. It's a rather impressive drive through the field. Another one is Chris Worrell, started 40th. He's up to 17th.
Definitely helps out a little bit, though, and you have some cars get some damage in front of you, have to get some repairs, pick up some spots on pit road.
Oh, interesting. Chad Bear typed in the there's a little
fight on pit road.
Yeah, a little fight on pit road between Bear and Holzer. Well, Bear said he was turned down the back straightaway. He was wide open, and Holzer said he slid up in front of him, which is kind of what we surmised, that Bear just a little bit underdrove it. Bear said replay will tell the tale, but I don't know if it did. I'm even more confused at this point. 1 lap to green. We'll reset the running order here for you. Steinmiller, Scott, the top 2. While we're there, we got Brantley Roden in the chat. Welcome. Harpoon Designs owner. He's always sponsoring the league and one of our group to help. Aaron Smith, the pole sitter, is in 3rd. Nick Massey is 4th. Mark Whitley is 5th. Nick Indelicado 6th. Tate Lytle 7th. Jared Darling 8th. Cam Rich 9th. Gerald Campbell in 10th. Four cars are out of the race. as of right now. Ryan
It's
Lutz,
been-
James Heater, Jared Rexing, and Vincent Isabella from that first
been-
track.
It's been an exciting first quarter of this race here to start this one. 24 laps down. So high intensity up front. Couple big racks with some of your leaders.
Remember, at lap 50, there will be halfway stage points awarded to the first 10 drivers. So we'll be on the lookout for those. Pace car is off. Steinmiller getting ready and going early, and Scott not ready. Steinmiller's going to pull away. Smith's going to have a go at second. And Delicato got a really good start. He went flying up. He's up to fourth. We're
He's
battling
side by
for
si-
it with Massey.
Yep, side by side with Massey here for that fourth position.
Looks to me like the outside lane on the restart's not where you want to be if you're not in second. Oh, caution's out. Didn't catch who's going to be involved in this one. Looks like the two of Harrison Talent has spun. Take a quick look back and see what happened there. Looks like he might have been out of control the whole time down the back straightaway. I tried to avoid a checkup. And just looped it. I need to go back just a little bit and view his onboard to get the kind of picture of what was going on. So I think there's guys checking up right in front of him. Yep. Just like that. Good move by the driver of the two. Just loop the two and do it. Who are we bringing up? How about race leader Hank Steinmiller? Just looking at the... Oh, I think he's in the Apex Sim Racing chat. Just looking at the guys who are going to be restarting on the bottom this time. Steinmiller, Aaron Smith, Nick Massey, Mark Whitley. That seems to be the group that'll move forward. So, anyway, Hank Steinmiller. It's David up in the booth. You got me?
I got you.
How's the car doing, man? You're looking really good out there right now.
It's very, very touchy. Better behind a car.
You thinking you might kind of step back into the field just a touch and ride a little bit behind somebody, or you trying to go out here and lead some laps?
I like being out front. The laps led are nice. I think there's probably a few behind me that are better than me, but we'll try to get to lap 50 and see where we're at.
Sounds good, man. Well, good luck and keep having this good run. It's refreshing. See you up there.
Thank you.
All right, David, I think one dangerous guy that's going to be on the inside here is going to be Nick and Delicato.
Is he going to be on the bottom? I think he's going to be on the top, right? Fourth? Is he fourth or third? Because he's running
third.
the apron.
He's running the apron right now.
Got him as fourth on my scoring. I think he's going to have to drop back behind Aaron Smith. No matter where he lines up, I think he's going to be a dangerous guy to be reckoned with for poor Hank Steinmiller up here. I mean, Delicato has been very aggressive and very aggressive this year, and he is the points leader, even though he doesn't have a race win yet. Three top fives.
We'll start on the top here. Watch for Nick Massey maybe down there in the third spot on the inside line. He'll be starting fifth, but third car on that inside line.
And Delicato went from what, seventh to fourth on that inside. He picked up 3 spots. So Mark Whitley's in that spot this time, because I think Delicato jumped 3 wide with somebody underneath him on that last run, and even though it was only a lap long, he managed to pick up 3 spots. So definitely an aggressive move. I don't know if Massey will make that same move necessarily, but I am interested to see if that 48 car is going to get up here and try to lead this race. He's within striking distance of the lead for maybe the first time all season.
Lights out on the pace car. We're going to go back to green flag racing here on lap 28.
Update from Ryan Lutz in the chat said his screen went black, and that actually might make some sense with how that car just veered into the fence to start that earlier wreck and then kind of came back up on the track. That pace car to come off. Hank Steinmiller said he likes to lead. He doesn't mind being in behind another car, but he wants to keep that 63 as long as possible out in front, and he will accelerate now. We'll see if anybody can keep up with him or that inside line kind of moves forward at all. Like Delicato got the second best jump of anybody. He's going to go to the outside of Kwame Scott.
Maybe it's not just that inside line. Maybe it's just the restart here from that 01 car. Solid restart here, even from the top line. See if he can hold it down the backstretch.
He's going to have a lot of momentum coming up behind this 99 car. And there he goes, out from behind Kwame Scott, challenging for second is Nick Delicato. The points leader has driven up from about 10th or 12th on the grid. 13th, in fact, up to the top three. Kwame was able to hold him off, though. That 99 car is strong, man. He's been good all year.
See if Delicato continues to try to charge here for the top two spots, or if he'll tuck in. Fellow Scott going to try to go after for your race leader here, Hank Steinmiller. He wants that race lead back. Not quite close enough to do it yet, though.
Challenge for fourth. Jared Darling to the outside of Aaron Smith. Give it to the one car. We haven't seen much out of that one car all season long, but Darling is up here in fourth, making a good run for it. Definitely an impressive run from Jared Darling. Campbell is up into sixth right now after starting in 32nd, 28th. But still, a really impressive run by Gerald Campbell to get up here and challenge for this race win. Darling's putting some pressure on Delicato, and Delicato maybe really rubbing the good off those tires with those aggressive moves, trying to run it up to the top of the racetrack. He's letting a little ground up to Kwame Scott, and Hank Steinmiller really loving that clean air. He is driving away from these guys.
Wonder if it's changed up a little bit here. Nick Massey lost 3 spots there on that restart as the caution comes out again.
You guys are going to need to watch this save by Aaron Smith. Oh my goodness. Through 3 and 4. We're going to need to check that one out. He was dead sideways. Tires were smoking. He's still fifth. Michael Goodman looks like he got spun going down the back straightaway. Take a look. Oh, he hit the wall right there. And Andy Trupiano, for the second time in this race, is the victim of someone else's bounce off the fence. In fact, the second time of someone from Apex Sim Racing bouncing it off the fence. Thank good. He was just trying to back up, get out of the way a little bit, let some of those guys through. Just caught the wall there when the safer barrier comes out. Right there. Poked him out into the track, and around everybody went. And Smith, the pole setter. Aaron Smith. '70 car. He's fifth. But it was the move he made there through 3 and 4. This save right here, once the caution came out, I think he might have gotten on the brakes a little early. But right there. Oh, man.
Wow.
Woo! That caught my eye. And that was a wreck of the top 10. You know, everyone from 5th to 10th waiting to happen, and it didn't. Smith went and got tires, too. Among others, Ethan Burrell down pit road. Matthew By, no. think it was just Aaron Smith from the top group that came down pit road to grab some fuel and tires. Matthew Weeks has also gotten tires. Josh Clark, or is that Robert Ellis? Josh Clark has also gotten tires. Josh Sobel on pit road. So that moves Gerald Campbell into 5th. That the front 4 remain the same after the caution has come out and you guys have come down pit road. Hank Steinmiller still the leader. He was looking for lap 50 too when we interviewed him there a little bit ago. He's thinking about those stage points. They can really make or break your race. Kwame Scott still in 2nd and Delicato 3rd. Jared Darling worked his way to 4th, and Gerald Campbell up to 5th. Mark Whitley's been steadily in the top 10 today. He's in 6th. Nick Massey's in 7th. Cameron Rich is in 8th. Like I said, he's just chilling. He's slowly moving his way up to the front. Garen Turner's in 9th. Good run for the 20 car. And then in 10th is Tate Lytle.
I don't know if it's been a name that we've really mentioned at all, and he might be another one of the first-time runners with here, but Joseph Causey is in 11th.
Causey's run before. He runs in Elite, so I know the name, but I don't know if he's been with us at all before this season. Let me check real quick. Nope, this is his first start of the year. He might have been just missing it via qualifying. He might have been trying to qualify for these races. We have been sending people home in the other lobby for qualifying. I think we sent Cooper Johnson home today, among others.
Would be very true.
It's not really something we can cover as knockout qualifying because it's a different lobby and whatnot, but certainly maybe Causey's just not been making these races, and he finally has, and he's making the most of it up here in P11. Somebody who I haven't talked about also right there behind him is Scott Crump in the 51 car. He has been very quiet today. And this whole season, really. Oh, we didn't send Cooper Johnson home. He's in 18th. What am I talking about? Anyway, getting ready to bring the pace car in. Restart coming to lap 35 of 100 after our 4th caution of the day. Pace car is off. Hank Steinmiller will lead him to the green once again. And he's going, and Delicato's going with him, and Scott is not going to get that run. That time it was the whole inside lane. Kind of got a jump on the outside.
Delicato into 2nd. He clears Scott there.
Yep. Challenges for 4th. Gerald Campbell underneath Jared Darling. He won't make it there. Darling holds him off for 4th. Massey loses a spot to Cameron Rich on the restart. And now Whitley's going to go after Campbell. He's going to get it. Mark Whitley into 5th. And here comes Rich for 6th. You make one little slip up like Campbell made in that corner, maybe one little break, you cut somebody else, and it seems like everybody can just jump and try to take advantage of that and move around you as much as they can. These cars seem very close together. Darling going for 3rd on Kwame Scott. Yellow flag. Oh, it was Garen Turner in the middle. He's going to collect a bunch of cars. Joe Francis, Damian Leininger, Josh Adams, Chad Bear, Josh Sobel. Bunch of cars taken out in that one. Couldn't tell what happened. I just saw the 20 car perpendicular to the field, and he had been in the top 10. A bad break for Garen Turner. It's like he and Chris Worrell are going to get into each other down the back straightaway. Oh, and Leininger got into the 20, and Francis got into the 12 car. Adams nowhere to go. His streak of horrible luck continues. 12 car curse is alive and well for Damien. Oh man, Dylan Thomas may be the luckiest man of them all here. So is Scott Crump. Oh, Leininger nowhere to go. Aaron Smith, very, very lucky he wasn't caught up in that. He had just pitted for tires. On board with... Oh man, this is on board with Garen Turner. Bam! Nothing he can do. Francis is 4th in points, by the way. Joe Francis is. So that is a horrible break for one of our top points getters and nowhere for Damian Leininger to go. Look. Josh Adams tries to find a way through and does not. Adams is, by the way, 48th in points. He has 15 points accumulated on the season in 4 races. That is just one of the worst starts I've seen from somebody who's, you know, a legitimate championship threat when he's on. I mean, Adams is very, very fast. I believe he won the Clash, but in these points races, he has just not been able to figure it out or get the kind of luck you need.
Definitely not. And unfortunately, it's not going to continue here at Atlanta, or sorry, at Auto Club. See if Chad Bear can hold off everybody behind him once again here on another restart as we close in on lap number 40 of 100. Kind of got in a little bit of a rough patch here, a few cautions. You know, as they say, cautions breed more cautions.
They absolutely do in this case, and Hank Steinmiller just trying to make it to that lap 50 mark. He's going to have maybe his most difficult restart coming up with Nick and Delicato all the way up to 2nd now, and seeming like he gets off just as well as the leader. Kind of better than just about anyone else in the field right now. So we'll line him up. Hank Steinmiller is the race leader. Nick and Delicato, the points leader, is running 2nd and likely to pad that lead with a run like this. Kwame Scott is in 3rd. Jared Darling 4th. Mark Whitley 5th. Kevin Harvick Rich is in 6th. He just kind of keeps moving up towards the front. Gerald Campbell is in 7th. Matthew Bayuk in 8th. Nick Massey 9th. And Joseph Causey is up to 10th. After that contact, Chris Worrell remains 11th, and he has come from 40th to get to that 11th position. Also of note, Zishan Dura started 41st. He is up to 16th. And even after that spin we saw on the back straightaway a little bit ago. So a good run there for him. And Jared Mogart, the Daytona winner, started 39th. He is up to 14th.
You know, we've mentioned that he's running right now in the 4th spot, but I think that one car can be pretty racy here today as well. Jared Darling was looking to make some passes right there before that last caution.
We haven't seen that car really, you know, battle for the win yet at all in these races. Maybe Atlanta excluded. I'm not entirely sure what happened there, but, you know, at least from the races we've been at, he hasn't really been a factor. He's been maybe one of those 10th to 15th place guys. So we'll see if Jared Darling can make a move here now that he's got some good track position and an opportunity.
It'll be a dangerous restart here for Steinmiller this time. And Delicato on his outside. Kwame Scott going to get the jump on the inside, though. Try to take that 2nd position back as Steinmiller will hold it into 1.
Kwame Scott's car. Oh, man, that's Cameron Rich getting sent by the 29. He saves it. What a job by Cameron Rich. Lost a bunch of spots.
Here comes Delicato for the lead. Delicato to the inside at the corner panel, out of the door, into the corner, and we're side by side for the race lead.
And Hank Steinmiller is going to fight for this lead, but I don't know if there's a whole lot he can do. That 01 car looks really, really good on the bottom of the racetrack. Hank's not really going to have the run off. He didn't go high enough in the corner, and I think at the line, nope, still Steinmiller, but Delicato might have that preferred groove here in turn number 1. He's got to try to hold him off for 10 more laps, does Hank Steinmiller, and Delicato definitely wants that halfway point.
Can't quite get there, though. He's just been held up. His momentum's been stopped here side by side with Steinmiller. That's allowed Darling and Scott to close in, and he'll take another shot to the inside. And Delicato trying to make a run, but the momentum not quite there yet.
He got on the apron a little bit that time, and it allowed Scott to close, but it did not prevent him from getting a little bit of a run on exit. Steinmiller and Delicato side by side for the race lead. Kwame Scott choosing that outside lane to try to help Hank Steinmiller, and there's a crash on the front straightaway. Caution's going to be out now, I think. Well, no. No caution. They're not going to throw it. Jared Mogart, the one in round. Here comes Kwame Scott.
3 wide for the race lead. This could be dangerous.
Well, we've seen it before. Hank Steinmiller, the car on the outside, that's the one that won it the other time that we had this 3 wide run. Now I think Kwame Scott thought better of it. Gonna get back in line. And Delicato still trying to battle with Steinmiller.
Only problem is Scott might lose some momentum here. Here comes Darling to the outside. We're going to be 2 by 2 up front.
Oh, it's a big battle for the race lead, and it's that battle for the halfway point. The intensity is up because of that extra stage bonus. Points to the top 10. And you want those because those can really help you if you get involved in a late wreck to buoy your race.
Make that 2 by 2 3 deep as Mark Whitley and Matthew Bayuk are doing battle back there for 5th and 6th as well.
After his restart mishap a little bit there, Bayuk has worked his way to 6th, and Cameron Rich is getting back to it. He's underneath Chris Worrell, and he's going to take 7th away, I believe.
I think Delicato's finally got it.
Oh, he's going to get the lead at the line, but no, maybe not.
No.
Steinmiller roars back on the outside. What a run from that outside lane. And like Hank said, it's all about getting to lap 50. That's why he's battling so hard for this race lead.
Darling and Scott have swapped lines behind them. Scott now to the high side, Darling to the inside.
Putting on some great racing here now that we've gotten it green. Steinmiller able to hold in Delicato at bay, but that's about it. They haven't been able to take the lead either way to this point. And here comes Delicato. He might have him clear. He's going to slide up in front of him.
Oh, he's not. Oh, barely clear.
And a little bump from Hank Steinmiller.
I don't know if he was really... He was clear, but not by much. And here he comes back up the track. This time he will clear him by quite a bit.
Now the battle for the lead is over. Steinmiller will fight for 2nd. But that chase point and Delicato's going for, that's the one that Hank was really looking forward to. Now it's all about can you maximize, pick up enough stage points, try to continue your chase hunt, especially if you're that 63 car of Steinmiller. Kwame Scott in the same boat. Matthew Bayuk in the same boat. That's why he's being so aggressive to this point. And right now in 5th.
Scott will settle back into 3rd. He was looking to go after Steinmiller for that 2nd position. He just got a little bit of a shove from Darling in 4th, did Scott. And they're going to almost try to push it 3 wide. They're not quite close enough to pull even with Steinmiller, but they'll both shoot up the racetrack.
Speaking of 3 wide, they are 3 wide back here. Cameron Rich, Mark Whitley, and Joseph Causey. I think Whitley got into Rich too. Man, Cameron Rich has been in the way of everybody else. Here comes Scott Crump. Here comes Jared Campbell. They're still 3 wide.
Rich has been a little bit of the punching bag here today. He's been knocked around a little bit.
It's a conspiracy against Carlos. He does clear Scott Crump. Yeah, just against you. It's not against Cameron. He'll get back to it.
Crump just got bumped a little bit down there. They're still fighting 3 wide here.
That's Seth Rawls in 0-2. I think it is.
Yep, that is Seth Rawls.
Rawls working his way forward, and Rawls might have tires. I know the 70 car back there definitely has tires after pitting on one of these cautions, but it doesn't seem like tires are enough of a gap to make a big speed difference to overcome the track position that the clean air provides up front. Ethan Burrell hasn't been able to move forward after fixing his damage. Aaron Smith hasn't been able to bring the pole sitting car back up front.
Closing in here, flat 48, couple laps. We'll be at that halfway point.
I think Steinmiller's still within striking distance of Nick and Delicato has not pulled away from Steinmiller.
No, it's kind of surprising. He got out front, and they've just been able to hang in there. Someone just got, was that Whitley that just got sent through down to the
Cameron
apron?
Rich. Cameron Rich got sideways, and Whitley went evasive action to dodge him. Now they're 3 wide, 2 deep. Crump, Dylan Thomas is there. This is all a battle for 10th. Or really a battle for 8th, but it stretches back to about 15th, 16th spot. Rich and Sprawls, then Dylan Thomas, Scott Crump, Aaron Smith, all fighting over 8th place, 9th place, and 10th place points. Oh, Massey almost got sideways entering turn 1.
It's definitely the place to be watching right now. It's on the edge right now for these guys fighting for points, and something definitely could develop right here.
All this fighting behind has allowed Hank Steinmiller, Kwame Scott, and Nick Indelicato to pull away, and the battle for this stage point may be on. I think Steinmiller's reeling in Indelicato just a little bit. He might not be close enough to be able to make a move, though, here as we hit this last lap before the stage break.
Of course, we will not actually stop the race. We'll just hand out points as they come across the finish line. So we'll keep racing. No need to stop the race. We'll hand it out to the top 10.
Little sarcasm at a certain racing series that everyone watches that likes to throw as many cautions as they can. We won't name names, but you all know what I'm talking about. Peaks sideways. Let's see what the lineup is coming across the line this time. The battle is right there. Dylan Thomas, Scott Crump, Aaron Smith. That's a battle for the last stage point. Nick Indelicato is going to win this half. And I think Dylan Thomas is going to be your last point. He's going to cut inside. He's going to try to make it to be Cameron Rich. No, Dylan Thomas will get 10. First through 10 right there on the left side. Those are your points earners here at halfway. And now these guys have to settle in and finish this race out. Look at this gaggle of cars. I said settle in, but they're not listening to me.
I was going to say, do you think they actually settle in, or do you think they're going to stay as aggressive as they have been?
Ethan Burrell's shoving Dylan Thomas down the back straightaway. I don't think they're listening at all. These guys are going hard as they can right now. I think the only 2 guys who are, maybe the only 3 guys who are really relaxed and content to run where they are Nick Indelicato, Hank Steinmiller, and Kwame Scott. Those guys have broken out to a 1.5 second lead and just are running nose to tail, nice and calm, good smooth laps. And then behind them, Matthew Bayou kind of holding up the field a little bit as Darling is falling back to 7th.
Well, they were battling a little bit here for the 4th position as well. So now I think they've single filed out a little bit. I don't know if they'll be able to close in as much, but they probably won't be losing quite as much time to those front 3 up front.
Scott Crump cuts underneath Tate Lytle. They are right behind Aaron Smith. This is the battle for 11th. And Smith and now Lytle will now go side by side as Tate tries to use the outside lane to his advantage. I am really impressed with the amount of lane changes that I've been able to see from these guys. Everybody using the outside, the inside, and to effect on both counts. Like the inside can be used to pass, the outside can be used to pass. The outside's probably your preferred lane to defend, but we've seen guys make passes on the inside. Look at what Tate Lytle's doing right now.
Look at this. Does the 88 car have fresh tires? Because let me tell you, Joseph Causey is making a run right now, and he's challenging for 4th and 5th.
I don't believe he does. I don't have the, Carlos might have the stats on that. I do not. Causey absolutely running well. Him and Chris Worrell both. Yeah. Causey's just up here in 6th, putting on a good race. They are still 3 wide here for about 10th place. Delicato and Steinmiller pulling a little bit of a gap on Kwame Scott now, and Matthew Bayuk has now fallen to almost 2 seconds back. Battling with Chris Worrell for 4th. And then this whole pack behind is starting to really slow down compared to the race leaders.
David, we got to start to think about tires now, especially since we've hit the halfway point now, don't you think?
I don't know, because Aaron Smith is on tires. He had that save. He went to the back. He got tires. He has not been able to carve through these guys who are on older tires. You would think if it was a track like Atlanta that a guy like him and I guess him and Tate Lytle are the 2 guys that are on fresh tires. Those guys have not been able to carve through these guys up front. So I'm curious as to whether or not tires are actually the effect here, and we're just going to wait for fuel. Cameron Rich, man, he has been all over the place this run. 3 wide now in the middle. He's been bounced off of underneath. He's been bounced off of at the top. Definitely sporting some right front damage, but he's been able to maintain about 9th or 10th. Still 3 wide. Jared Darling, Scott Crump, and I think it's Cooper Johnson in the 14 car. Yep, Cooper Johnson up to 12th. He was complaining before the race that he just did not have the speed. He wasn't going to be able to run up front. It's going to be a disaster day. Here he is in P12.
One guy that we haven't talked about at all that's trying to get in this battle as well. The 11 car of Matthew Weeks. He's in the middle of all this too.
He is on tires, 100%. I know that for a fact. Saw him down on pit road with Aaron Smith. And yeah, the tires just don't seem to... They're an advantage right now for sure. The guys moving forward are absolutely the guys with tires. Tate Lytle, he's up to 5th. Aaron Smith's up to 9th. He's moving forward, right? Weeks is moving forward, but they're not so much an advantage that it's gonna ruin your race if you don't have tires.
It's not that normal tire fall off differential that we normally see where someone just goes blowing past someone else is what you're getting at.
Exactly. Yeah, it's not that same differential. Right now, I mean, Nick Indelicato and Hank Steinmiller have checked out. They're checked out from Kwame Scott. There's still 0.3 of a second between them. They are, Hank's definitely keeping pace with Indelicato. They're 2+ seconds ahead of Tate Lytle. Now we'll see what those tires do. If Tate Lytle runs these guys right down and goes blowing past them, then we'll know, what the tires do. But for now, Tate's been able to make his way through this traffic up to P4. Now we'll see what that tire advantage really is for the 56 car.
I have to say I am really impressed with Hank's run here. I know he's been running up front. He's led some laps, and I thought, okay, well, by the time Nick gets up there, he'll probably take the lead and maybe run away from him. But for him to just stick right with Nick here and run with him, I'm really impressed with this 63 car today.
Well, I go back to what Hank even told us when we interviewed him there, was he likes being behind a car. I think Hank is just kind of basing his laps off of Indelicato, taking care of his stuff, and staying within striking distance. And by the way, Tate Lytle picked up 0.3 of a second that lap. That 56 car is coming. Those new, fresh tires are helping that 56 for sure at this point. But everyone's going to have to make a stop still. There's nobody... I don't think Tate can go all the way to the end. So now at this point, it's going to be, if Tate gets there, do those guys just go ahead and pit and try to get out and, way in front of Tate and undercut it?
So I wonder if it really makes a difference if you're getting some more clean air with those new tires than when you're stuck back there in traffic a little bit.
I think that absolutely helps, because Tate Lytle was having to fight through all those that big pack of cars in the back of the field. Now he's got clean air. He's clicking off really good lap times. Certainly making his way towards the front. We'll see here. Yeah, he picked up another 0.2 on Nick Indelicato that lap. So, and that was with him kind of getting stuck in behind Kwame Scott. His 56 car definitely on the move. We'll see how far he can get up. But the pit window is now open, I believe. This lap is 40, and before the race was told 40 laps is the fuel window. So if you want to make it from here, you can. I would advise to stay out as long as possible. That's usually the best play, but there will be some that try to undercut it.
Here comes Lytle underneath Scott for that 3rd place position. Not able to clear him quite yet.
And meanwhile, there's still 3 wide battling going on. Here's Aaron Smith, Ethan Burrell, Cooper Johnson, Nick Massey.
Tate finally does get around Kwame Scott for that 3rd place position. So now we'll really start to kind of keep an eye on that differential. He's right now about 1 second back. So we'll see if he can close in here.
1.2, 1.3. This time, by last time at the line, it was 1.38. This time it's going to be in the 1.1s. So Tate picking up 1 to 2 tenths a lap. He'll be there in about 5 to 6 laps. It'll be a battle for the lead for sure. I think Tate will have an advantage, but he will have to pit just like everyone else to the end of this race, and that is barring the potential for a caution, which has existed pretty much all race. We saw a rash of them there right before the stage hit. Now it's settled out a little bit. Tate's coming though, man. He's eating them up right now. It's down to right at a second. Cooper Johnson, that is for 10th right there. 14 car blowing past Ethan Burrell. Again, a guy who was not very pleased with his, his practice session up here running 10th, having a really strong run. And there's the yellow, so I definitely cursed it. Man.
Come on, David.
Robert Hill Jr. in the 05 had a problem. Our longest green flag run of the day ends, and I think everyone will pit for maybe the final time, and we won't get to see what Tate Lytle could have done with those fresh tires. There it is, tight off the corner, bounced it off the fence, and then Gerald Campbell, because he slowed up so much, nowhere to go. And there's Drew Eisenman. In the EisenDesigns 200, he's going to end up with a little bit of crash damage. Tough break. Joshua Sobel will get back on the lead lap. He had damage in that last accident. He was on board with Drew Eisenman, the EisenDesigns sponsorship, and he and Gerald Campbell had trying to get out of the way, just nowhere to go for the problem with the 05. And so, like they like to say, the pro broadcasting, this changes everything.
About the time
Now-
you say that, something else will change it to change it again.
Oh yeah, everything changes everything. That's how racing works. But Indelicato, Hank, they're all coming for tires this time. There were 5 sets total, so 4 sets besides the one you had to start the race. So I don't think we're into the tire set limit yet, but I think this might be some guys like Aaron Smith. They might be putting on their 3rd set instead of their 2nd set. I think everyone taking 4 tires, fuel to try to get to the end of this race, and things are about to get pretty crazy.
Who's going to win the race off pit road here?
Delicato's out. Steinmiller's car still on the jack. He goes.
Well, it's going to be close.
Oh man, that's really close. I think Hank
Steinmiller got it.
Wow. And that was a long battle to get the lead for Nick and Delicato, and then Steinmiller stayed right there with him. That is a big battle off the pit road. And yeah, the tires do work out for Tate because now they reset the track position and Tate is 3rd. So taking tires that pit stop that he had works out really well for him, and now he'll be on the same strategy as everyone up front. We'll see what kind of speed that 56 really has.
Comes out 4th. Joseph Causey will come out 5th. Chris Worrell, Cameron Rich, Scott Crump, Matthew Weeks, and Cooper Johnson round out your top 10.
Got to note that Joseph Causey paint scheme. That's that 2012 Dark Knight Rises Dale Jr. paint scheme that he won at Michigan with. Really, really nice to see that one on track and running right here in the top 5 at one of these 2-mile ovals. And of course, Cameron Rich there in 7th. Maybe this run will go a little better for for Cameron. Josh Adams is sitting in the infield care center if we want to bring him up. Josh Adams is David in the booth. You got me?
Yep.
Josh, I can't remember someone having as bad a luck as you've had to start the season, man.
Oh yeah, just I mean, I've started in the back in most of these races, just trying to stay out of trouble, and just I think the way the car drives, the trouble has found me. It's hasn't been a whole lot of fun.
Is there anything you're going to be able to do to kind of dig yourself out of this hole?
It's probably a different car. I mean, we're not to say I can't drive it, but we're wrecking down the straightaways because when we're packed up against the wall in another car, like the car's like impossible to drive. Like some guys are getting lucky out there, not causing wrecks because of that. But I think we've wrecked about 3 times tonight because people can't drive down the back straightaway in this thing.
All right, Josh. Well, hope you have some better luck next week and you can get back to it and make it work, man.
Yep.
As an irritated driver for sure. There's only been 1 or 2 of those going down the back straightaway, so I understand that those bumps are also causing those incidents. But anyway, pace car is off. Hank Steinmiller gets the jump on in Delicato. He went a lot earlier this time. That definitely gave Hank the advantage going down into turn 1.
See if Nick can make the charge again and just how long that battle will last for the race lead.
Delicato backed up like the center of the corner and got a run coming off the corner. That was
Oh,
very
they're
interesting.
loose.
They're trying to
Snap
wreck down
Crump.
the back. Is Crump going to be able to save it? He does. Cameron Rich just having a pinball kind of day in the 47 car. Matthew Weeks now underneath him. Delicato's there on Steinmiller. Here he comes to the inside. Hank blocks.
We'll force him to go to the high side this time.
Hank's car is not that great on the brand new tires. I don't think he likes it until it gets a few laps on it. Here comes Kwame Scott. He's going to get into Delicato. Oh, man. Kwame Scott, we didn't have a great look at that. Kwame Scott about just door slammed in Delicato. He backed out of it and kept all the cars on the track there. That was a wreck waiting to happen, and now it's in Delicato and Steinmiller once again, but in reversed spots from their battle earlier. Oh, one is
Scott
sideways.
with a big run.
Oh, he's going to get run
Delicato.
into. I don't know how Delicato saved that. Oh my goodness. Now Tate's there, 3 wide for second behind Hank. And I tell you what, Josh Adams might not like this car, Ryan Lutz might not like this car, but this car is putting on a whale of a show.
First
There's that
World
move
finds
that-
himself in the middle of everything now.
Kwame Scott, I mean, I can't believe he didn't put Delicato in the wall right there. Not to mention, I can't believe Delicato still got a car underneath him, even though it's back in 6th.
Yeah, he's on the
After that
charge
slide.
again. He just went underneath. Causey there trying to pick up a spot and march his way back up. And he's got his teammate right behind him, Matthew Bayou, just behind Causey. See if they can pair up and try to charge back through the field.
Tate Lytle trying to take second from Kwame Scott, but Kwame has been there all day long. He and Hank Steinmiller have been the 2 dominant cars all race. Oh, crashed the back! Rawls, darling.
Yep.
There was one more who got put in the wall there by Rawls. I think it's Scott Crump at the 51. Everybody's scattering to avoid, and I think they're going to all avoid. I think that's going to be a 3-car incident. We do have Drew Eisenman in the infield care center, so we'll take care of him right here after this caution replay. Looks like Crump and Rawls just came together. Oh, Dylan Thomas is going to have damage as well. He got in the back of Rawls. And Darling spins after a very strong run in the 1 car.
Yeah, Darling got clipped there by Crump. Came back down the racetrack, sent him head first into the outside wall.
Really tough break for some of these guys. I don't know if there was anything that Crump did wrong. He just slid. Hank Steinmiller just mentioned me, said Cooper Johnson on board, who was right behind this incident. That'll be worth a quick look as well, I believe. Another guy who's had a really good run, and it could have all been for naught if this wreck had done. Had gone any other way but that. Cooper Johnson through without a scratch, it looks like. Dylan Thomas behind him will have some damage. Steinmiller juking for pit road. We know they won't be pitting. So, all right. Pit stops are happening for the back of the field, and we will bring Drew Eisenman to the TV booth here. And Drew, it's David in the booth. You got me.
Yeah, I got you.
And Drew, I hate to be interviewing you in the race you're sponsoring, but tell us what happened out there, man.
Yeah, I mean, just kind of. I haven't really driven oval stuff in a while, but these cars are a lot of fun, so figured might as well get out there and have some fun. Able to get out there, qualify for the race, and honestly, a lot of fun. And the race definitely didn't have the pace that I would have liked to have, but yeah, the 05 just got up into the outside wall off of 4 and got into the car in front of him and then spun it across the nose. And I had about 3 minutes of optional damage, was way down on power. I'm not running for the championship or anything, so I don't want to be a moving chicane out there. So I decided to just bring that thing on in.
And Drew, you got this very nicely painted paint schemes. Is that your design shop, or what's the story behind those beautiful cars?
Yeah, EisenDesigns is just something I kind of mess around with. It's a lot of fun. I've been to a few races here at Auto Club, so figured, hey, want to sponsor the league. It's cool that they're doing the COT, running that thing, doing something different, which is a lot of fun to drive. So yeah, I just wanted to support the league. So figured, why not sponsor it with my little kind of spare times hobby graphic design thing, which is EisenDesigns. Hit us up on Twitter if you want something. I try to squeeze people's stuff in the best I can. Honestly, it's more of an excuse to just paint whatever I want for my cars. But it's fun to do stuff for other people sometimes too.
Well, that's awesome, man. Well, thanks for sponsoring the race, and we hate that you got knocked out early, but good luck the rest of the season.
I appreciate it, guys. Thanks.
That is Drew Eisenman of EisenDesigns, which obviously visit on Twitter, and we'll take this opportunity to re-rack it after a little bit of a break. Hank Steinmiller, Kwame Scott, Tate Lytle, Chris Worrell, the top 4, and Delicato is 5th, Joseph Causey 6th, Matthew Bayuk 7th, Cameron Ridge, who's just been playing ping ball. Ping ball? No, that's not it. I can't think of the name of the thing anymore.
What are you looking for?
Mind blank. I don't know. Whatever. Ping pong. He's been playing ping pong with the field, really. Matthew Weeks is 9th. Ethan Burrell is 10th. Let's get ready to go green.
Cue ball? Were you looking for the cue ball?
No. The game on the PC. It's like the standard PC game. You had the little toggles. I don't know.
Pong?
No. It's like an arcade game. I'm just at a loss right now. Let's just ignore it. Hank Steinmiller's leading. Tate Lytle's in 3rd. Kwame Scott's in 2nd. Inside Line's been getting a good run all day. I'd watch for that 01 of Indelicato on this restart.
Oh, they're wrecking.
Oh, they're crashing. Aaron Smith, the pole sitter, involved. A lot of cars are going to be piled up in this one.
Jared Darling just got another shot. Scott Crump, a couple cars we just saw in the accident getting more damage.
I don't know what happened there. I think Gerald Campbell just got off to a little bit of a quick start and bopped into the back of the 70 car. We will have to take a quick look at that replay, but oh my goodness. From that long green run, yep, look at that. So the rear tires lift off the ground. Who did he clear out in the black car there? Wyatt Nadel in the 84. Smashed into Garen Turner in the 20.
Turner wiped himself out trying to avoid the wreck.
Oh, Zishan Dura, who got just absolutely clobbered by the 70 car coming back across the track. He had had such a good comeback run after spinning. I was a little disappointed. I was just getting ready to say that it was really good to see, two different views, right? Josh Adams really not happy. Oh my goodness, look at that. Everybody started going. Crump was already spinning before. Adams really hates the car, right? Very clearly. And he has not had the luck to kind of make that opinion change. We're getting word Scott Crump might have avoided further damage. Oh my goodness. Yeah, no damage for the 51. No additional damage. How about that? We don't have a good hands move of the race, but that might be it right there. Oh my goodness. Whoop. Whoop.
I think that's more luck than anything, though, too.
You might be
For,
right, but oof.
for him to spin down through that and still not get collected. Easily could have gotten collected by the 70 right there.
Oh my goodness. Karen Turner.
Yeah, but I think Turner
he
puts
just-
this one on the outside wall. Yep, there
Yeah.
you go.
Yeah, Turner hit the wall pretty hard. You know, he just got on the brakes, and with this car, you get on the brakes really hard, and it just hangs a right. Back to the interviews we just had between Adams and Eisenman. Drew Eisenman really excited about the car, even though he's been involved in a wreck, and Adams very unenthused. And I think that's kind of it does mean this car is polarizing, and I think that's absolutely fair. But I have really loved the kind of racing I've seen today out of this thing, and at least for this season, Rockingham was really cool. Seeing guys being able to run high and low, and
Well, and I think if you add your perspective in there too, David, I feel like that's 3 different situations that everybody's in, right? Like we love it because we get to sit here and call great racing that we've seen in no matter what racetrack we go to. Eisenman's out here having a good time. Yeah, he'd love to win, but he's not as much of a contender as someone like Adams considers himself to be. And for him not to be up here challenging for wins and whatever, that's got to be very frustrating.
absolutely, yeah. And I think it shows Ryan Lutz's frustration as well. He ends up crashing out of this race, and he has been adamant on the car not being good. Damian Leininger hasn't really been singing its praises either, which is fun. I like having the different opinions, and Johnny Thomas absolutely trying something different, trying something new, because every league runs the Xfinity car. The Xfinity car is one of the best cars in the service. It puts on really good racing and really clean racing. You know, I like this opportunity to run something different and to call something different and to watch different races each week. And what we're seeing with this COT car is special, I think, in terms of what you can find in online racing right now.
Yeah, but I think, like you said, and like we were just talking about, you talked about Leininger, Lutz, Adams. Those guys are all guys that, in their own minds and from our perspective, should be up here competing for wins. And when you're not, and things aren't going the way you want to, or it's a little bit more difficult to drive the car, it's going to be more frustrating. You're not going to like the car than someone like Eisenman, who maybe doesn't have as much personal pressure or whatever else, that just has a good time driving the car.
You're absolutely right here. So let's re-rack it. Hank Steinmiller, Kwame Scott, the top 2. They've been the top 2 all race long. Tate Lytle, Chris Worrell, Nick Indelicato, and Joseph Causey. In fact, I don't think the top 10 changed from our last rundown before Aaron Smith was sent into the fence off of winning the pole. We'll see what Hank Steinmiller has for him again. It looked like he got off to a really good start last time before the start was mitigated by the immediate caution. And there goes the 63 really early. Scott just he's wiggled every single time, and I'm wondering if that's a little bit of tire spin on that 99 car or what, but it puts him a little bit behind the 8 ball each and every restart. Causey's going to get 5th from Indelicato. Or at least he's going to be there and hold him back. Oh, Weeks and Bayuk almost run into each other. Causey's still going after Indelicato for that 5th position. He's going to get it. Yep, clear is Causey, and Chris Worrell is 3rd. Kwame Scott's hunting down Hank Steinmiller. That was a really good corner for Hank, though. Scott lost a little bit of ground, and Worrell picked it up on him. And if they start going side by side, that's going to just let Hank drive away. Delicato back after Causey for 5th. Weeks going after Bayou for 7th. Kwame Scott had a much better corner that time and brought that gap down on Hank Steinmiller. He remains right there. Front four single file. Ooh, Nick Delicato almost loses it entering one.
Yeah, it might have been slight little contact from Causey there. He came down the racetrack and Delicato moved to make sure they didn't wreck each other.
3 wide. Here comes Weeks. Oh, Causey in the fence. Bayou got into him.
Yep, Bayou helped him out a little bit there.
Just about. Bayou just on the back bumper of Joseph Causey. And Causey now, he's going to have to go. Oh, Bayou,
Weeks into the wall. He hit Cameron Rich.
Involved. Gerald Campbell involved. Caution waves. Matthew Weeks was an innocent bystander in that one. He had worked his way up to 7th. He had been very, very collected all race. Wasn't really making any of the aggressive moves. Fighting in that pack, and it was just Bayou got tipped by Ethan Burrell, which sent Weeks. It got Rich, and it got Campbell. And another caution Hank Steinmiller will have to navigate. Let's go on board with Cameron Rich here and see this incident unfold, and I think you're going to view that he's going to have nowhere to go. And yeah, it started with Ethan Burrell tipping that 29 car and sending him into the 11. Bop. Head on in the fence. It's like it was a magnet for those two cars. Weeks' car bounces up in the air and just gets flung from Rich's hood all the way to Campbell's hood. Is that Kwame Scott come down pit road?
Yes, it is.
Scott comes down pit road and Delicato comes down pit road. A lot of guys came down pit road behind Steinmiller and Lytle.
Yeah, I was just looking. Tate Lytle now in 2nd. Johnny Thomas will be in 3rd. So I was wondering about that. And right as I was thinking about it, you mentioned Scott down pit road.
That is going to really change the complexion of this race. Kwame Scott takes the opportunity to try to grab tires. He will be the first one off pit road. He, Worrell, Indelicato, Causey, Burrell, they're all going to try to climb through the field. The problem is a lot of guys stayed out, and a lot of guys stayed out that have some damage, and a lot of these guys that stayed out are guys who come down pit road already. They've got tires, so they're not going to be pushovers. I kind of question the call by everyone but Steinmiller and Lytle.
Well, I was going to pose it to you, but I figured we had already kind of talked it over earlier about midway through the race. Is it really worth it to come down at this point to get tires? Because it hasn't made that much of a difference. But I think that's what you're getting to, David. It is kind of questionable here with 20 to go.
Yeah, and if there's a really big rash of cautions, you just want to be out front. Like, there's nowhere else that is going to be safe. I mean, assume that we get a couple of green flag laps in here, and then, you know, Ethan Burrell and Scott and Worrell and Indelicato, they start coming through the field. They're starting 2 and 3 wide with guys with old tires and with damage. There's going to be a wreck, and there's going to be unplugged my headset there. Apologies. There's going to be a wreck, and there's going to be those guys involved that have been running up front and that have been in the top 5 and top 10 all race.
I was just concerned for half a second. I don't know if that was you or if that was me, and all of a sudden it went eerily quiet.
Nope, it was me. Kicked my mic, unplugged it. So we're good now. I'm back. Thomas taking some interesting moves there.
How about Chad Baer finds himself in 4th with a banged up number 91 car?
Yep. And I think this does, you know, if the race goes green, I think, you know, Hank will be in trouble, Tate will be in trouble, but I don't envision it going green. And then what's the most that they're going to have to run here before this race ends? Maybe 5 laps, 6 laps, and maybe 10 at the most. I don't think those guys can pick their way through in 6 to 10 laps. I think they're going to need all 20.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting to see. And, you know, I think some of these cars have some pretty significant damage, but it seems like so far, from at least what I've seen this season, that damage hasn't really, like, destroyed the way the car races. They've been able to hang on and still maintain some pretty good speed. So we'll see what happens as they try to pick their way through. And I agree with you, David. I feel like we had that one little green flag stretch, but other than that, the trend has been a couple cautions paired together here.
Hank Steinmiller going to go early. Johnny Thomas behind him. Tate Lytle up top. And the only cars without damage look to be Steinmiller, Lytle, and Thomas. And we'll be keeping our eye on those guys in the back. Kwame Scott, Nick Indelicato, Chris Worrell, and Ethan Burrell trying to pick their way through this traffic.
Johnny got a horrible start, though.
Yep, inside lane did not go. Tate Lytle is through to second. Bear will be through to third. Mark Whitley, who crashed earlier, is through to fourth. Jared Darling's back in the top 10. Seth Rawls is here with a somewhat undamaged number 02.
Almost feel like Tate might be in the best spot right now.
Yeah, Hank's been up front all day long. I feel hard-pressed to not just choose the guy who's been running up front. But look at all these guys. They're just stuck. They can't go anywhere. Hank's just pulling away from them right now. He's got no pressure. Him and Tate are just going to drive away from the field and decide this amongst themselves.
Caution.
And there's the caution right there. Just told you it was coming. Darling is the one in the wall. And they're going to be able to keep doing that every time, too, is the thing, right?
So that was 2 to 3 laps.
Darling came within a millimeter of wiping out Kwame Scott.
Oh, and that's the thing we didn't talk about, right, David? It looks like Nick Massey got hit there, driving by too. Is now you put yourself in the middle of all that. Like, not only do you have to hope for no cautions, but you put yourself in a position to get caught up in these accidents.
Yeah, Kwame Scott very lucky here that Darling didn't correct all the way across the track, because he would have just taken Kwame right out. Oh, and he turned it back to the right, and Kwame avoids getting any damage, and he will gain to 10th. He gained 3 spots in the lap and a half that we ran, the 2 laps, and now he'll lose 3 or 4 more to try to gain from 10th to 1st. For what it's worth, Hank is not too enthused with his pit strategy call. He thinks he might have gotten snookered by the rest of the field there, and that they might have the jump on him. But
we think you're good from up here, Hank.
We'll see. And as these cautions keep coming out, it's just going to reduce the amount of laps it takes that are available for Kwame Scott and those guys to get up to Hank Steinmiller and Tate Lytle. And Hank's going to have that jump on these restarts every time. That should keep him in front of Tate. Mark Whitley up to third. That's a mighty impressive comeback for the 77 car, and he looked pretty racy there, but I don't think anyone had anything for those front 2 that was behind him there. These guys are all now their roadblocks, hoping that they can hold back those tires. Quick look through the field just to see if there's anybody having an exceptionally good run we haven't really talked about. Among the guys who stayed out, Josh Clark is running 8th in the 28 car, and I don't think we've said his name but like once or twice today. Maybe when he got caught up in one of those wrecks. He's got the Chick-fil-A Pro Edge Racing number 28 car up in 8th. Jared Mogart's in 6th. We haven't talked about him at all today. It's pinball, isn't it? Pinball. Just swear it's pinball.
Yeah,
that's what I was trying to talk about. Cameron Rich had continued his pinball act of getting shot around the whole pack. He's gone a lap down, but he did just get his lap back. It was bothering me. Couldn't think of what it was, but we're back. We got it.
I knew, like, after we went through that little discussion, I knew exactly what it was, but then it also escaped me, and I couldn't think of what it was.
Wasn't just me. So with that, Kwame Scott's going to restart 10th. Nick Indelicato is going to restart right behind him in 12th. Worrell's going to be on the inside in 13th. Burrell is on the outside 14th. I think, advantage to Scott and Indelicato and Burrell in that sense. Like the outside lane's probably going to be where you want to be. You can go a little bit higher up in the corners if you need to try to get that extra run down the straightaways. So those are the guys we're going to have to watch out for. But up front, it's still all Hank Steinmiller. He's been the dominant car tonight, trying to hold on and win this race late. I think there'll be 12 laps to go when he comes around to the line. Tate Lytle in second, Mark Whitley in third, Chad Bear in fourth, Johnny Thomas running fifth, Jared Mogart sixth, Seth Rawls seventh, Josh Clark in eighth, Scott Crump in ninth. After a pair of slides from that 51 car, he remains in the top 10, and then Kwame Scott, who's been the other dominant car tonight, is in 10th. So here we go. Possibly the last restart, though I don't bet on it, the way these cautions have been falling. Pace car is off, and Steinmiller slows him up and then brings him fast. Gets a really big jump.
It's stacked up that bottom line. Whitley let off a little bit, and that stacked up Johnny Thomas and everyone else behind him.
Outside lane where Kwame Scott is definitely going to have the advantage, but you see they're 3 wide in front of Kwame. He can't do anything, neither can Indelicato.
Each passing lap that goes by is just one last for. Oh, they're wrecking Scott Crump into
Oh, he got Indelicato!
Into
And he got
Burrell.
Burrell! Oh, and that is why you don't go to the back. Right there, watching that 0-1 spin around. He was one of the race leaders, and now he's wrecked on the back straightaway. The risks that you face when you drop to the middle of this pack, especially with this car, have bitten Indelicato, and the points leader goes around. Kwame Scott barely made it out of there. Wow. Someone was flying up the track. Did you see that? I think I missed that the first time. I was busy watching Burrell and Indelicato. It looks like that's on Scott Crump. He's the one who makes that mistake the first time.
Wonder how Hank Steinmiller feels about his decision now.
Yeah,
Bayou. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say Bayuk was involved in that as well.
Man, what happened to Scott Crump's car? Very strange.
Was that Whitley
There
involved
it
as
is.
well?
The 2 car. The 2 car went flying upside down back onto the straightaway. My goodness. Harrison Talon just went for a ride in this one. Sent and into the inside wall. Upside down it goes. Oh my goodness. We're going to be at 10 to go right now, and it'll be far less than that once we re-rack things and get going again. Boom, there goes Harrison. Cooper Johnson, who had a really good run today. Robert Hill into the inside wall. A lot of cars involved in that one. For whatever it's worth, Josh Adams is still displeased in the race chat there. He is not thrilled with the way it's gone tonight, and we heard it in his interview earlier.
All right, well, that took about 2 laps off. Kwame only gained 1 spot, and he's going to lose another 3 to 4 here to caution.
Harrison Talon said he's going to be out for a significant time after that impact. Oh, man. Kwame Scott's running out of time, man. There's under 10 laps to go now, and he's got a lot of cars still to pass. He's going to be restarting 9th, I believe, and I think Hank can probably stack up that inside lane again.
this point, he's basically got to get a car a lap, and that's going to be hard to do.
Hank's nervous, man. I can tell.
1 to green.
He's gonna have an opportunity here to win this race. Absolutely. Tate Lytle's also gonna have an opportunity to win this race. And I kind of mentioned it earlier in the race. I said something along the lines of, man, where hasn't Tate Lytle been up there in the top 2 or 3, battling for a win? Well, here he is. Tate Lytle, one of the best out there, going for a win, trying to cement himself as a championship contender this season. He's 6th in points right now, and in front of him that have had problems in Delicato, Rich, Francis, and Burrell. His nearest competition is Scott, who is 19 points ahead of him so far. So right now, Scott may be looking better than Tate. In terms of the points, but Tate certainly has a good opportunity here to make some big gains and cement himself as one of the points contenders. Need Johnny Thomas to get a good restart too. He has had several really bad ones in a row and went from 3rd to 7th. Here we go. Coming to 9 to go. Pace car is headed in. Steinmiller backed him up. Johnny's going to really play blocker there for Kwame Scott and for Hank Steinmiller. Worrell's going to get to the outside of Scott. He's going to be in front of him.
Lytle into 2nd. He's got Whitley here off the restart. We'll see if he can charge after Steinmiller. It might be these two to decide this one.
Might be. Depends on how long it takes Chris Worrell and Kwame Scott to slice through this field on those fresh tires. Worrell way back in 7th, looks like, just got around Josh Clark. Scott gets around Johnny Thomas. Now Worrell going after Rawls. That's not enough. They need to go faster if they're going to catch up to Hank Steinmiller. I wouldn't count Tate Lytle out of this race just yet. Mark Whitley's keeping pace with him right now. I'm not entirely sure he can sustain that, but he's certainly giving it a go.
Steinmiller starting to gap Lytle just a little bit.
63 car looks good, man. It's been good all race. Hank was a little nervous. He couldn't beat Tate on pure speed, but that 63 has been the class of the field in this one. He's led a lot of laps.
We're all up to 5th now. Up to 5th, looking for 4th on Chad Bear.
He has a lot of space to get to and not a lot of time to get there. Coming to 7 to go. And Bear blocking, doing everything he can. Kwame Scott still in 8th, looking for 7th on Mogart.
Worrell's got 4th. He's going to come to the inside right here.
Yeah, but he's also got to pick through Whitley and Tate Lytle before he gets to Hank Steinmiller. I just don't think that 06 is going to have enough time. Now Hank Steinmiller needs it to go green, though.
And Hank has shown he's not easy to get around either. It took Indelicato, who probably had the best car, one of the best, if not the best car tonight, quite a few laps to get around him.
Tate sideways off of turn 4, hanging it out there, trying to catch Hank Steinmiller. He's not gaining on him, though. I think he's losing time at this point. Worrell still just a second back. Where Worrell's going to gain is the entry to these corners, but that gap in tire is not all that significant. And I think Worrell's passed up to the point where, the tires might not be equal, but the cars are pretty equal. And so Worrell's going to have to fight with these guys who have been similar speed to him all race long. And I just don't know if there's going to be enough time for him to fight through Whitley and Lytle and get around Steinmiller here. Coming to 5 to go.
David, he took like 800ths off the difference there, so it's not nearly going to be enough.
994 to 935, yeah, 700ths. Yeah, not a whole lot of time eaten into the lead for that 06 car. Hank Steinmiller really running a great race right now.
I think he's got it, unless something happens here.
You can't say that.
Oh, come on, Tate's
Listen, it's
fading
not
a
my
little bit.
fault. It's preemptively not my fault.
I
Not
think
my fault.
I think Tate's car is fading a little bit. I don't think he's got anything here.
Tate's definitely driving the wheels off of it, though. And the thing about Tate Lytle is he can go when he wants to. Because he ate into Hank's lead just a teensy bit that time. Got about a tenth back. Or a hundredth back, rather. But he's got to be... He's got to be beating him everywhere on the track. He's not able to gain on Hank except for corner entry right now.
Rells has caught Whitley, though. He might get a top 3 finish out of all this. Probably
Yep.
won't get the win, but might get a top 3.
3 more laps to decide this one. Worrell going after Mark Whitley. He does have fresher tires. He's eaten about 3/10 into a full second lead. But he's going to have to get around 3 different cars in order to win this race. Kwame Scott is up to 5th, but he's 1.5 seconds back. That's not going to be enough. It's down to Lytle and Steinmiller in my mind. Tate's going to the top, and here comes Worrell diving it underneath Whitley. Whitley's going to try to hold him off on the outside. He's going to do it. And I think that's going to be it for Chris Worrell. I don't think he's going to be involved in the winning of this race. It's going to be down to the 63 and the 55, 56.
Scott's got up to 5th, but he's definitely got no shot at getting to the win here. But he did march his way through to 5th.
Good points day for Kwame Scott, one of the championship contenders. We mentioned it before. Hank Steinmiller's got 2 laps, and he really just has 1 lap. He wants to get around to that white flag, get this thing finished under regulation. Does not want to re-rack it and give Chris Worrell and Kwame Scott an opportunity. Tate Lytle's fading now. Definitely fading now. He's well back, and Worrell's really pressuring Whitley, but has not been able to find a way around.
It's the most anxious next corner here for Hank Steinmiller.
Yep, Worrell to the bottom for 3rd on Whitley. And Hank's just got to get it to the line. If Hank can get it to the line without a caution coming out, he should be golden. White flag, Hank Steinmiller. Final lap, he's got to hold off Tate Lytle, but he's been faster than him the last couple of laps. Two perfect corners for Hank Steinmiller, and he could bring it home. Worrell slides in front of Whitley. That battle for 3rd is fantastic.
David, I took a chance 5 laps early, but I told you he was going to win this race.
Oh, man. It's still not over. Tate got a little bit of a run. He could dive it in there.
Nah, he's not close enough.
Tate Lytle after him. But Hank Steinmiller, perfect all day long. Led a ton of laps today, and he will come home the winner. Hank Steinmiller is going to win the EisenDesigns 200 at Auto Club in ERSCA. Man, Hank Steinmiller, a race winner.
Lytle will have 2nd. Mark Whitley will be 3rd. Chris Worrell will finish 4th. Nick Massey will round out your top 5. Kwame Scott will finish 6th. Seth Rawls 7th. Chad Bear 8th. Johnny Thomas will don for 9th. And Josh Robin rounds out your top 10.
Robin had just about as bad of a start to this season as Josh Adams did. They were next to each other in points when I mentioned Adams' point total earlier, and it's good to see Robin go in there and grab a top 10 finish. And good to see Hank Steinmiller get a win, man. That's really cool. That's definitely the first time we've seen him pull out just some really, really strong pace and some race-winning speed from the get-go today. I mean, he was qualified 3rd. He was up front all day long, took the lead very early, and led just all of the race. I mean, maybe the only times he wasn't the leader was right at the beginning of the race. And then there at the halfway point when Nick and Delicato got the lead from him. His teammates giving him congratulations there all the way to Josh Clark.
This is what I love about the COT car is that we've got to see some guys that haven't normally get to win, like Hank Steinmiller and Kwame Scott in the last 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I mean, Kwame Scott's been a championship level driver this season, and the way Hank just ran, I wouldn't be surprised if Hank ends up, mid top 10 in points and starts looking towards the playoffs and starts attempting to be a championship driver as well. It's Ryan Lutz is way down in points. You got a lot of open spots here at the top, and the parity level right now here in ERSCA is through the roof as Hank Steinmiller takes home the win. And Hank's a talented driver, don't get me wrong. It's not like he's never won a race, never going to be up there. he went out there and earned this one and won it fair and square. And this is a really impressive display of speed by the 63. Look into your top 10 while we look to pull up third place driver. You want to switch up our questions here?
Yeah, we can.
Or I'll ask one, you ask one.
That's fine.
All right, let's do it. Mark Whitley, third place. You got a copy?
Gotcha.
Mark, tell us about that battle coming to the end there. Looks like you were having a good one with Chris Worrell.
Yeah, it was pretty intense. I think he had a little bit fresher tires. I think he was part of that group that fitted later. We short fitted and was able to jump them all, but it was pretty intense on that last lap. I knew he was going to dive it in there. I was going to try to drive it in a little bit harder to keep him down pinch slow, but he full licked the stamp and sent that, and I saw him do that, and I just immediately slammed the brakes. And I've run a lot of dirt, so if somebody throws a slider like that, you just got to check up and get a run underneath them, because they're not going to be able to make the corner off. So I just saw him throw that huge slider, and I just hit the brakes, went up under him, and hit the gas, and it stuck, and was able to pull away from him. But that was fun. A couple laps trying to hold him off. I thought we might have something for the leaders, but car was a little bit farther into the run. I was a little bit better on the shorter run, so had some bad luck with some finishes here. So we'll definitely take a third place. It's feel like it's well deserved.
All right, Mark, we saw you there, decided to stay out with about 20 to go. What made your decision to stay out there with the two up in front of you?
Yeah, well, we were stuck in the back. I had a little bit of damage, so we were stuck in the back, and we had pitted the caution before that. And there was only a handful of green flag laps, maybe 2 or 3 since we had pitted, so there wasn't going to be that big of a difference on tires. And I figured we were going to keep having all these cautions, so I thought it was pretty much a no-brainer to go ahead and stay out and get all that track position. And it worked out because we had so many cautions, the heat cycles in the tires. It took until the end of that little 8-lap run we had to notice the difference in tires. So it worked out. It was a little bit of a gamble, but I thought it was a pretty safe bet. So have to gamble it sometimes when your track position isn't good, and sometimes it comes out good, and sometimes it bites you in the butt. So this time it just came out good.
Mark, you looking forward to Richmond next week, or are you dreading it a little bit?
I usually look forward to Richmond. I don't know, every week's a new experience with this car. I've never driven it before this league, so it's going to be fun. I have a feeling the rear tires are going to be probably pretty angry next week, right front too. So it's just a whole new beast with this car and this tracks. Like I said, Richmond, I normally look forward to it, so I guess we'll find out when practice starts if we're any good or not. But it should be pretty fun. Short tracks are always one of my favorites.
All right, Mark, before we let you go tonight, who do you have to thank that helped you get a third place finish tonight?
Oh yeah, first and foremost, Brantley Harpoon Design. He's a wonderful sponsor. Everybody check him out, harpoondesign.com. Does awesome work. Awesome work. And then other sponsor, shopangryduck.com. They're the one-stop shop for all your custom racewear, hats, t-shirts, hoodies, pretty much anything you can come up with that you can put on your body. They can make something custom for you, and you'll be happy with it. So check them out at Shop Angry Duck. And I guess one final one to my family. They're always tuning in all my broadcasted leagues throughout the week. So always great to have their support, and wouldn't be able to do it without them.
All right.
Well, thank you.
Yeah,
thank
congrats on your third place finish tonight.
Appreciate it, guys.
Now we will bring in second place finisher, Tate Lytle, to the booth. And Tate, you got a copy, buddy?
Yeah.
Tate, you sound a little disappointed, man. Did you think you could have won that one? Maybe a few more laps?
I don't know, man. I'm just ready for bed, to be honest with you. I'm pumping off about 6 hours combined sleep the last 2 nights, and we're ready to snooze.
All right, Tate, we've got some input throughout a couple different drivers throughout the race, throughout the season so far. Good, solid run for you here tonight. What is your take on this car that we've been running, this COT car?
I mean, I don't feel like there's anything wrong with the car. It's plenty fun. The problem with the car is that it's really hard to drive. So at the beginning of the race and like throughout the race, no one's really driving like as hard as they can. And then once we get to these late race cautions, everyone just forgets what's going on and how hard this car is to drive, and they start going 100%. Or, I mean, what they feel to be 100%, if that makes sense, and it's just not ever going to work. So that's just kind of my 2 cents on the situation. But I mean, it was a good race for me, though. I mean, I kind of played the strategy right. I think my strategy was better than Hank's. Hank was just a little faster. Because I pitted somewhere in the middle of the race, I don't even know, and was able to drive up to 3rd or 4th. It was 10th and a half to 3/10 depending on the lap faster than the 2 liters. So I was like 5 laps from being in the lead before that caution came out, and I think if I could have got to the lead, I don't think I would have gave it up. So that's kind of what it came down to. But I mean, I missed last week because I was doing some other obligations, real life obligations. So I think I don't even know how many races we've done. I'm either 4 for 4 or 5 for 5 for top 6s. So we missed a race, and we're still gonna probably be top 3 or 4 in the points after this race. So been a pretty good season, real consistent. Just haven't quite broken into the winner's box, but gotta thank Johnny and everyone at ERSCA and you guys. Days Gone By, Vintage Racing Apparel. Go check them out on Twitter or Instagram. They got an Etsy page, lots of cool stuff on there. But yeah, I'm out of here. I'm gonna go to bed.
A quick interview for Tate Lytle. Congrats on 2nd place, buddy. Get out of here.
Later, fellas.
With that, we'll bring in race winner Hank Steinmiller to the booth. Hank, you got a copy, buddy.
I got you.
Hank, yeah, and we talked to you mid-race, and you weren't so sure about being able to hold off some of those guys. And by the end of the race, it kind of looked like you were the fastest car out there.
Yeah, I wasn't sure how the tires would play into it. I felt like I was wearing the right front too much, but once we got that long green flag run and I kind of saw where we sat, it was more worried about the short run speed, because I know there's a lot of guys in there, in Delicato, Tate, even Whitley. They have some short run speed there that I think could have got me.
Hank, we were noticing up here in the booth a little bit, you could get that bottom line stacked up a little bit, and that really helped your restarts. Was there a certain strategy that you saw than any others out there?
I don't think I was doing anything too drastic. It was just kind of switching up where I was restarting. I go early, middle. I really never went too late, but I don't know if that's a product of them spinning their tires or trying to time it or what. But I mean, it stuck. As soon as I was hitting the gas, it was definitely a benefit being the lead car.
Hank, talk real quick about maybe Richmond next week, and you're zooming up the points charts with this win. I think you're going to be 5th in points after it's all said and done. Looking forward, are you getting excited? Are you thinking you're not going to be able to have a shot at the championship with this thing?
We'll see about that. It's too early to figure that part out. But I know Richmond, we did well in the test session there. Excited to put this on it. It's a little more stable on short track than any other car, so I'm excited to see how that works out.
Anyway, you're gonna celebrate the win here tonight?
I'm gonna go to bed because I got an early day tomorrow for work, so it's a long night of celebrating in my sleep.
Well, Hank, you got any shout-outs for us before we send you off?
Yeah, I'll want to shout out the sponsor, Juicebox Pod. They're out on Spotify, all your big, whatever, podcast platforms. You can catch them. Lone Wolf Racing, Country Roads Motorsports with us, and Damien with the Apex Sim Racing. And thanks to Lutz for screwing that up, because I'm sure he would have been fast too.
Well, congratulations, Hank, on your win, and go ahead and get some sleep, man.
Thank you, guys.
So with that, that's all the interviews. And that was the race, and I think it was a rather entertaining race from start to finish.
Yeah, I think it was great. And I think we had great battles all over the track. Even the wrecks were kind of entertaining to see, even though we don't like to see that for some of those guys. But I think it lived up to what we expected.
I think the points are going to start getting really interesting going forward, and we've got that regular chase, so you're going to have to be able to show that you're going to be perfect even in a chaotic race like this. And this series might end up being very chaotic with this car. It was the kind of concerns that Tay Lytle, Josh Adams, and some others have spouted over it. But at the end of the day, you just got to do what Hank Steinmiller did today: go out there and win the race. So with that, I'm David Westergreen for Dom Santina and Carlos Acosta. This has been 3 Wide TV and Belly Up Sports for the EisenDesigns 200 for ERSCA. Tune in next week for Richmond, and have a good night, everybody.